Hello again, we are back for another random run. This is going to be the last run for the day. So hopefully nothing too long, and I'm hoping this will be enough. Well, this might be a long run. Curse of the Blind too, huh? Okay, it's a lost. Z7KP0TZK. So, as I was saying, like, last run of the day, and of course it's going to be this, and had a keeper in a couple of runs ago, so Lost is actually a little nicer than the keeper because I have spectral tears. The tear rate isn't god awful. Yes, we're dealing with less health, but we have a way to circumvent that a little bit. Give me some 9 lives, you know. So yeah, our last run went very well for Dark Judas, and I'm glad we took the fly item. While we were talking about bugs, you know, being very relevant for that. Um, we didn't go to an item room yet. I think that'd be a good thing to start with that. So like I said, if I die a few times, I might just end it for this video. I'm not going to try to do that on purpose, obviously. I'm going to try my best. Just push on through here. I do like the Lost. It's just he's more of a challenge, and that's what it is. Like there's an advantage and there's a disadvantage. So now we have the Lost. We can get as much Divil deals as we want, and gotta sure as heck be careful around blood banks. And oh, look at that! Makes another return. So that's nice. Come on, there we go. So that's gonna help. It's not gonna heal us, but it's gonna help us prevent us from any like explosive damage. Trying to see what else is a good topic for a video. So last one was like about bugs and gardens and stuff. Like, I mean that's how it is. They're everywhere. You can't avoid bugs unless you go like the subarctic. I think. Well, I don't know. Maggots probably still be around. Hiding in your food and stuff and whatever. These weird looking microscopic bugs, you just don't know what they're doing, but they're just there. Hoping that you don't notice. All spies. This doesn't help. I really do not want to fight you. Man, what else? Jeez. I mean, I could talk about the weather again, but I think we've already, like, talked enough about that. I mean, it's still sunny. It hasn't changed much outside, really. Oh, we got a box of stuff. And that trinket is useless. I'm not worried about range too much. Man, what else to talk about? Jeez, I'm just like literally looking around my room as I'm playing. Like trying to figure out like items as a topic. Kind of like an I Spy thing. I mean, I guess we could talk about moving. I guess that's... I bit my tongue. Dang. Ugh. Yeah. Just give me a few seconds here with my tongue here. Okay. That's better. No, I was saying it's, we could talk about moving. That's relevant for some people, I guess. moving to another city, another country and stuff. I was working with someone last year, and they were talking about doing a lot of backpacking and hiking and stuff. And they would, they tell me they would just like pack a bunch of stuff and they would just walk across the country and just travel by foot, I guess, or whatever. And I can't really do that by any means, but it's kind of a cool thing, I guess. You get to see sights. You don't have much like, you know, hanging in the balance other than like your health and your well-being. I've done some moving for, you know, the last few years. Well, off and on for years, like for most of my life. Not most of my life, but a good chunk of my life. I don't really like hire people to like do the moving for me. Like, you know, special. Well, I think that's a better trinket, honestly. Um, I do like. I'm more the lines doing like much of the moving. I might get some help from someone, but other than that, it's like I'm not hiring someone to lift something heavy. I'm doing most of the lifting, really. 'Cause usually the people who help me, they don't do much to lift anyways. Actually, we might go to the shop here. Especially with all this money here we got. Yeah, it's just moving and that's the thing too. I mean, it's probably a common theme too with people is when you move, you by the time you move to a new place and stuff, you feel kind of off. I mean, not just like with the community, but oftentimes it's like living into a new space. Because it's like, it's very foreign to you, but then like within like a couple of months or something, you're like, I'm used to this now. It's the strangest thing, really. It's human nature is what it is, I guess. It's just like, you're not used to something, obviously, and therefore like it's going to feel foreign to you after a while. You know, moving has its benefits and disadvantages too. Oh boy. Gotta be very careful around this little spooky guy right here. There we go. More damage, that's nice. Both these items aren't great, but I might just hang it with the Satanic Bible in case we get a respawn of some sort. And just seeing what else. Like for me, for the most part, I see a lot of perks with when I moved. You know, moving away from a city that's not so nice to a city that's nicer, but it kind of misses some aspects of that kind of a small town like feel and wholesomeness to some degree. Where's my keyboard? What's going on here? Okay, might have glitched for a second there. I don't know if there was just some issue I had, like with that water that I had a long time ago in the video. Okay, this room's a little scary here. I do not like those. Okay, there we go. And I can understand you gotta move and stuff. I mean, I understand, like, for myself, it's like you just gotta move on and find, something bigger and better. And get out of, like, kind of a rut. Oh, blind items, huh? Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Might as well. Okay, extra bombs isn't too bad. So yeah, it's oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to figure out what was going on here. There we go. We could have used it in the last room. There we go. Yeah, it's I guess I don't have much to say with that. I mean, I've traveled to places too. So that's kind of pseudo moving. Somewhat. I mean, it's very temporary because you're obviously traveling. Oh, you sneaky, sneaky, sneaky thing. I actually camped for about a week last year. And I thought to myself, oh, it can't be that bad to camp. And I was wrong. I was camping in a tent, and everybody else was like in a some kind of a trailer setup or a RV. And I'm just by myself in this dinky tent in the middle of summer and summer heat and storms. And fortunately for me, I had someone that kind of assist me with like getting some supplies to me, and like water and some food was the main one. Pretty much nothing else. Because the water there was just like too questionable to really drink. I don't want to drink a bunch of poison. And that's what the water kind of was. Also, we got a nice like little thing going on here. Some extra speed. I mean, it's flight, but we could already fly, but benefits that speed, and then we got that magic mush, so that's nice. But like I was saying, yeah, if you've never camped before, like actually camp, like that, like it gets tricky. And these wasn't like the cleanest grounds either. I mean, it was to some extent, but there was some dirtiness to it. And I mean, the neighbors and stuff were fine. It's just I don't know. The water wasn't that great. I mean, I haven't tried the water. I would never try the water. It came to the point too. It's like I didn't trust that water so much because they had all these warning signs and stuff everywhere. It's like, yeah, I'm not drinking or bathing in that. So rather than opting out and not bathing, which that would just make a big stink, um, I bird bathed it. So of course, when I was getting all this bottled water and stuff, I was getting enough to where I can bathe. So I use one bottle of water to like initially rinse myself first, and then after I, lather down with some soap, then I'd rinse it with the other half of the bottle of water. So actually, let's wait a little bit here. Try to find our secret room. So I did that. So I was like pretty much like probably maybe the only person there that wasn't drinking from the ecosystem. Because it had like just stuff going on with it. I didn't want to get some weird like bacteria or something bizarre and regret it. And I know like the owner of this place, this campground, he was trying to like convince me the water's fine, and I'm like, does not look fine, like at all. And it is coming from that source, and that's just definitely not what I want in my body, like period. And I was there for a week. I've met with some neighbors, talked with some people, and they were, I mean, they were like colorful, to say the least, and very simple folk. Most of them lived there for a number of years, which I don't know how, with the amount of flooding and stuff happens. Except for like the owners, like they built up their place to the point where they got stilts and stuff, so flooding is not going to hit them as hard. They told me stories about like over the years, these previous big floods that went through, that it it did a lot of damage to their property. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Holy crap, okay. Oh, okay. What this say is like, huh, 2 or 3 chests, am I gonna get something in the third one? Nope. But 2 life ones. That's real nice. Anyways, going back with, I didn't need to be in there anyways. Anyways, going back with this, yeah, they had to deal with flooding issues, and they were building it up as time was going along. And so then now they're the only ones that don't have to deal with it. They do warn about the other folks about like any impending water issues coming this way and storm forecasts. And the community is just kind of together, like with the one storm I was there for, to kind of clean up their sites and stuff. Like a community effort thing to keep things kind of clean and organized and whatever. They check on neighbors and stuff. It's just, I mean, all that's fine for a typical neighborhood, but aside from that, like living outdoors like that for myself in a campground, that's not for me. There was a woman I met out there who she was explaining kind of her story that led up to like living there. And because there was this place in town that was helping with like homeless people and poor people in general. And they found a kind of a place for her to live temporarily before she couldn't live there anymore. This was during COVID and early on. And then she ended up to this place. And she was kind of like insisting that she's proud of being homeless. Like I don't see much of the perks aside from like, you know, obviously becoming more self-reliant with having to be exposed to the elements and, you know, starving and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I guess in her mind, maybe it builds more grit. Not so much with these other, like, negatives she had too much on her mind. But to me, I see more of the negatives because, like, obviously homelessness is a terrible thing. And it gets complicated depending on what city you're from and what your ordeals are. It's just too much. And it seems like when I moved there, like, you know, some people there were just like really antsy to talk to me, mainly because I'm an outsider. And I got like a fresh experience of the outside world compared to them, I guess. I'm not saying like they're closed-minded or anything, or they've never traveled. It's just they haven't like lived elsewhere for such a long time, or know about a lot of stuff that's going on. And then I met another lady. She was a mother, and she was staying there temporarily. For some reason, I guess they traveled with the husband to do whatever around town. I don't know, or something. And she had a kid there, and we met. We kind of talked and chatted and did whatever. And she was also kind of checking in with the neighbors, despite like being there for such a short time. Well, one neighbor, you know, making some friends. She wasn't there long. And yeah, I guess originally she was from like Alaska, I think she said, or Alabama, Tennessee, something like that. No, I think she said she was born like in Alabama or Tennessee, or originally lived there. And then she's like a resident of Alaska. That's pretty far to travel, really. Get all the way up there to that point. Yeah, and then met some other people too. Didn't really chat with them as much. We had this kid that was fishing with my brother and I when I was there. And anyways, this kid, like my brother and I couldn't figure out if it was a girl or a boy. Because like how young he was and like how he talked. Like, of course, you know, his voice wasn't obviously developed and stuff, so. And when my brother and I was just trying to figure it out. I'm pretty sure it was a boy fishing with us, and we gave him like bait and stuff like that for the fish and whatever. It wasn't a big deal. Of course, this one day when we were fishing together, oh, we got guppy. This is gonna be a quick run. We're gonna Did I get hit the first time? Whatever. I'm not mad. I'm actually kind of glad to get out of there. Anyways, going back with it. So we were going fishing, and it looked like there might be a storm coming from a distance, a shelf cloud or something. And anyways, I told my brothers, like, it's getting kind of late. I guess this was before like I realized how bad the storm was going to be, because you can only see so much from the hills and the trees and stuff. Oh, that's nice too. Oh, that's nice. Pay me forward. And we decided to leave to go to a local gas station to pick up some food and more water and stuff. Because I was running a little low. And so decided, you know, why not? And so as we were going out there, we just ran into like huge storms and crazy stuff like that. And then we were just kind of thinking after a while, I was like, gee, we just like left that kid by himself, getting like super soaked by this storm that was coming through. These winds too. Like, I don't know if he got out in time and saw what was happening or whatever, or he just too occupied with fishing. So I don't know what happened to the kid, because like by the time we got back, it was still storming. We didn't see him. So maybe he just ran and for his life. uh, that tent though, it held. It held up pretty well. It didn't blow away, didn't like do anything. It stayed put. And we had some strong winds that went through too. So pretty fortunate with that. I feel something in my arm. What was that? Was it a bone? Here I am questioning what I just felt on my arm. Might have been just a bone. I felt like there was a lump there, like a Z or something big. It's fine. Kind of threw me off for a second there. Yeah, so I guess that's my story of camping. I mean, the last time I went sort of camping was like in this, this was in Boy Scouts too. I was in this cabin, and it wasn't really that far in the woods either. And it was more in the lines of like, we did it because of Boy Scouts, and they probably didn't want to do much of the complication of like actually going outside with electricity or entertainment. And we stayed in this cabin that had electricity, running water, beds. We had a television hooked up to a VCR and we watched movies. Like, it wasn't really camping. I got my badge for camping, but it wasn't truly camping. And we didn't even fish. We didn't even like, you know, properly do like, you know, fire starter training or anything. We just watched one of them briefly do it, and they couldn't even really get the sucker on fire too much. It's just a smoldering thing. I mean, that's what we had to kind of work with back then, was like dealing with, I mean, it might have been a lack of funding too, and being a small community. But you would think a small community, they would find ways to like, you know, do something that's actually camping and actually whatever, because it doesn't cost that much really, as opposed to renting an expensive cabin. Unless they got it from a friend or something they rented, but still, it's like, it takes away the experience of going outside and living the elements. And we wasn't even there long either, like a couple of days. So like, wasn't what I hoped it to be. Now this camping experience last summer, that was kind of a real deal. Only I was kind of with the community, of course, and not only that, I had some water kind of brought to me, and I think that in itself is fine. I think the water thing, because I definitely did not want to get sick or poisoned or something. I actually did some fishing too. Like, I learned how to fish, believe it or not. So I have some idea how to fish. I don't eat fish. I don't like fish. I take fish oil, but I don't like eating fish so much. Maybe because I haven't had good quality fish yet. I don't know. I caught a couple of fish though. I got a pretty decent sized one too. And I've heard stories from the local community out there when I was camping that there's evidently a big sucker out there that people can't catch, but they talk about those fish stories. It's like the one that got away kind of deal. Yeah, it's just... I probably had more fun camping that whole week, despite like dealing with the harsh heat and kind of suffocated in it to an extent. And mosquitoes wasn't too bad, believe it or not. Didn't have to deal with ticks either. Like, that was weird. Because I was surrounded by like multiple lakes or bodies of water. And I just did not want to like... I would think like I would get like a bunch of bites and stuff. Nah. Like something was keeping them away. There was no squirrels, like at all. There wasn't any sparrows. There wasn't any like common birds and stuff like that. It was just like some other stuff. Or we get cranes. Yeah, this crane thing, this greasy haired thing. I say it's greasy hair because it's got this slick back, like black hair on him. And every time I see it, I just think of someone that has just really greasy hair and haven't washed in a while. And it'd fly in occasionally, you know, bob around looking for fish to scoop. Get spooked when you get near it. Another cool thing too I liked there was like, they had a bunch of these turtles. And they're just as spooked as the birds. They would like just sit out in the sun on logs, just kind of like soaking in all that sunlight. When we get close to them, they just kind of just fall into the water like there's some like Navy SEALs trainees. They kind of just jump in there and they're like, you know, just kind of fall over into it. I'm like, geez. There's just so many of them. Tiny ones, big ones. And I pointed out to my brother because he hadn't seen them. Just like, look how many there are in this one log. There's like 7 of them. Just different sizes. They're just chilling. I don't know if glass cannon would affect us too much, but I'm gonna keep with the fly generator. Just some extra flies here. Other than that, I didn't see too many critters or anything. Oh no, I did see frogs. That's right, I seen frogs. And I mean, I could have, I mean, I hear them at night and stuff, of course, and ribbiting. Not as many crickets I could hear. Obviously lots of fish. Like, going back with the fishing thing, we were just doing it for sport. Because those fish were probably just as contaminated as the water. So, prefer my clean... Well, I don't even like fish anyways, so... At least find any fish that's decent around these parts, but... I meant to say is like, I don't like any like river fish or anything weird where it's contaminated. some fresh water, I'll try, maybe. Not something out of a contaminated lake, like some people were doing. But hey, I mean, it's your body, you know. You like fish? Go at it. I mean, fish oil is good for you anyways. Well, that was a good lost run, a quick lost run, and surprisingly, it was like a little over 30 minutes. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.